So this is the fourth thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Inti yesui. So who are the plaintiff?
Okay.
Inti yesui no. Na we enter appearance inti in law wakada ebia enter appearance meaning there one someone crata na do kwe no waso ma so why ready there we be respond and be them into we enter appearance. In fact, it seems there Odobro no lawyer no enter appearance first. Okay. And send Ebusuapeni lawyers will enter appearance.
The nice was survey Ebusuapeni
yes.
And then
Odobro near survey a funeral home.
So three
defendants.
Funeral home, Ebusuapeni and then Odobro. Okay.
Into 3 defendants.
Okay.
At the crime the funeral home yen one there because of that woman nobody on it. And the rates no it was accompanied by injunction. Into interlocutory injunction, we're seeking interlocutory injunction. They be restrained, it was paying from there. What can it was paying and Odobro from there, but no kwekusi na bibi them. So that was because we in statement of claim, yening in some of the court, no, na yeke kene there, it was paying Odobro na they have access to the board, all that into. Yeah, the funeral funeral work on. So funeral purposely it was based on the fact that because of the injunction, don't conquer the body no you know. No any funeral for one count. Then funeral for so enter appearance later. It seems that they were the last people who enter appearance. And see on the day I know they quite injunction application. That was it seems if I remember correctly, no, it's 16th October or so. And on the day of the injunction application, na Ebusuapeni lawyers will file a motion challenging the capacity of Akusia Sewa. Inti dameda ne court no na missing a senior William kusi na why ready to be moving in injunction no. Na but because of capacity ne be muninti we challenge capacity in law no. Yeka capacity it goes to the root of everything because law mu no. Yempe situation e bia na judgment aba. Then they realize that I'm passing on phone a busybody. Okay. How are you going to enjoy the judgment? Okay. And some of them phone, and the law does not deal with busybodies. Until the moment capacity comes in, now why there? Why arrest any other at a procedure or the process be order no. Until my lady, Justice working during the Smith Arthur, or yeah, because of capacity motion happening. 16 and uncle move injunction or me move. Inti yentwe yemboase na yen deal with capacity no the emotion inti you deal with capacity because capacity no say if what it means was that say what the capacity to say capacity is successful or chede mama akose say wa onu kwan po do be saman Ebusuapeni Odobro ni na funeral home that is an uncle we are successful one year that is what it means. Okay. Now aside capacity na Ebusuapeni lawyers were filing, you know. Now it seems Odobro lawyers someone they were filing motion and they will seek for security for cost. In Siyaka security for cost, I work every day. Yeah, Robert Man so na even a nipano for some reasons being see if feel they in case let's say win nipano it will be very difficult for you to enforce even as a could be more there. It will be very difficult for you to get those monies to retrieve and to get those monies into. My court saying there, you ask for security for cost. Into parties never sign, they will undertake. Into BR say if this injunction is a grant more and grant more because of the negative consequence of the other party, the other party in now injunction just starting or granted or the more. But finally, what has the other party winner or tell wow. Okay. As I say, so you undertake. Okay. Into Odobro lawyers no, they didn't respond to a work and then injunction no, but I want to file a motion for security for cost. Wow. But Ebusuapeni lawyers now no responding to injunction no. Aside what responding to injunction no, now what file a motion for challenging the capacity no. Into your call 16th no. Now my lady here and there, okay, damn they obey streamlining in your ma. Na yemma on some timelines been at they agree on some timelines been at na and there we go then it seems that you bar some a week or so be them later. No, by that time no, then you will take all the motions over table no doing say biana injunction e capacity e security for be determined you know. Instead then you kwede injunction application no. There was opinion lawyers and they will withdraw. Whatever draw one capacity motion or filing. That will, yes, or challenge. I could just say we do no can and only two put there. Over someone a working in bush opinion or dobroni na funeral home for no kind of redraw. Inti what kind of redraw the night to the condemn there or there what can you move any injunction application. Inti this in a movie injunction application. In fact, case in it was time bound. If so, not that time, since a Lumbani, you know, it had been scheduled for sit to say BB set December. Yes, in there. No, it had been scheduled for sit. Into time was of the essence. Into missing a movie motion, you know. Into I can say it took a lot of hours. Now it's for responding. They raise issues of documentation, one notarizing. In fact, I will never come into details. Okay. It seems that is the main aina. Okay. Yes. No. So any prelims, no, that was on the injunction. Okay. The long and short of it was based on decided cases, and the legal system, no, Ghana legal system, no, or based on principle be a friend of stare decisis. Stare decisis or chede ma at the door fun mo e di kanfun wa ye no hwedo na ye bi nti adekwa ye ne dem ne there. The main principle behind stare decisis ne there, they want you to be able to determine your matter. Nti yemfa na bia MCA ya bo a odi the case you call court no day na that was the response and that was the judgment. So it makes you to also predict what will happen. So it brings certainty about the law. As I say, it makes you to be able to predict that, okay, say if the MCA what the court and they no here there, then definitely I'm the man some they no be. So you are able to predict the law, you follow the law. It's based on decided cases. In fact, one thing or other mechanism there, when it comes to injunction applications, based on the discretion of the court. And if I remember correctly, my lady Dorinda Smith Arthur kind of clear, the court made it clear there. All money ruling, no, or money clear there. She is not bound by precedent, but she is guided by rules. And I sided with her because discretion. So what it means is that Sebiana, anod no the case or the koi, Nebian Uya injunction, it is likely that any case might have some slight difference with regards to fact. Also, case I could seek injunction. So the judge who has the fact or who has been presented with the fact might decide that okay, so the may anu inchero them demo in so discretionary. When it comes to injunction or discretionary, you can get to today another case bar next a fact is slightly different and you might decide on far more. But when it comes to restraining urban the injunction on ifuna the court is quite very cautious because it seems 2024 so they will know what the practice direction or that in take a practice direction or why there some instructions via normally the chief justice and whatever or direct to court as to how they will deal with an injunction often if no one know what they are, so it guides us. But the practice direction was like say if any kind of injunction with or less than 2 weeks they should be very careful. So because of that or you moving
no less than 2 weeks
but you moving them because they say if it is less than 2 weeks the probability of you getting it is extremely low. Into you moving them the injunction application the court so that the court could consider it. Now every case law so there, you know, it is generally accepted that when it comes to body or ye busiano, or ye busiano na what you want or ye wash it or ye body no and so in that area no, it was not easy there. But as I said, injunction is a discretionary. So we decided to, based on the circumstance, we decided to move. We moved it. Now, Senior William Kusi movie and to the decision of the court, no, they felt that no, we injunct no because if you know, or you busan when you japade. Say, okoye bibi there. I'm just saying. If say be okoye bi de nan koye busuan funum bi no na even immediate family no bi na busuan funum bi na even at that time no will seek maybe the outcome could have been different but year and ideally what I can remember no on kan ebusuan no ho obowari wom do ye busuan de obowari wom but when it comes to funeral arrangements are different but a year a body ne de or ye ebusuan de so court name rule in our favor and amidst objections that were raised about documentation I don't know. Now after injunction we decline injunction no na or they move in into court in the timelines obey into timelines or the bear no or they work and them obia ye application for directions since ye application for directions and ye whereby we stage ye dura issues ye the court no determine no in some na woman ye the court no CC no aha obia list na le de odeba into we opinion on for list when issues they want the court to determine at the end the buying issues no too
okay
there akwese open or year there are side there if supporting determined down on no year and no bit my kuna then odobroni so lawyers so what they when issues what they I think the only people want for issues and be funeral home for no
okay
I want one for issues and into no a lot into on the day of application for directions no court no or let's stay out a work and them issues no into work be boom maybe CCA na na streamlining into at the end of the day we had about 11 issues and the court
from
no
our no
anyen na ebusu opinion or dobroni yen issues into ayen 3 issues na yeke boom no 11 yes for determination into 11 issues na court no there will determine but one thing about when it comes to issues for determination obetima bende even court no say if the court on the throne a judgment and in this case make a court now as in her ladyship the moment a judgment babane is not coming from her again is a representation of the court's opinion in Tebeka there is an embodiment of the court's opinion in the determination of a or trial judgment now be a true in with this issue here into a baby bit striking out true or right in the judgment and with them and after application for directions then we quickly have to move into CMC. That was on the 12th of November or so. Into CMC no and whereby after application for direction or do be a control any matter. Into there one thing there some one na me fa we so mfentwem odo boyin so counter claim after yes some into what dey be a counter claim why dey anso issue into issue na anso issue as I say into any plaintiff no in another way no so anso plaintiff
okay
as I say bia into odo bia prove in the case ano no issue ni na ne there court no nche there mama akwese sewa na onye yere
ano so did the
yes ano ni suit ano dey ne counter claim or dey bend court in the mama say one mama akwese sewa na onye yere as at the time that is 26th of July 2025 lumba we no onye yere then the second one had to do with it seemed there when declared that she was customarily married like one member kwan or warren one member kwan do then it seems she had about 3 counterclaims now one had to do with nikuna no se bibidam into ansu siwi into you do CMC state that was on the 12th of November na timelines down in fact I have to say that I did not be in the exigency of the case now because of time was of the essence now and my lady podo meeting now on them there normally it takes time maybe the mobile take time kakra and san it me but remember the court has done well with regards to timelines that we will meet into edu CMC after all case in some control work on statement of claim one some those are facts when the emremu say kosame no bia one some beka no they are facts into edu CMC no they file witness statement now witness statement one na evidence be
okay
at I say
one evidence
one evidence into e be yan find a misstatement of claim e be na market there MCA abona tell you she man na moto man maybe an MCA boss why enter defense anya na moto man or a fact na waka I'm a miss moto man anya no te I'm also anya na moto man at I say into waka na the mark on a fact now you have to prove it into one or the yes into one obi do chim there adu kunza or chede anya na moto man na adu kram so make sure am na moto man you get it so that stage in the statement of claim now who defense now they are pleading second pleadings are they are statement of fact they are not substantiated with evidence when you flesh or a fact what's America keke interfere or they substantiating so you do what can employ a witness statement Into witness statement one na wo evidence na the printer record there how na eto ema na the crown so record on how na eto ema na do no obi add the evidence baba, so you add it to your witness statement now attach adibia obi add, then you attach it. Now yenzi and mami akoche say one ankasa mbonku as in one testify personally into or the two ma obi de onkasa man, that is mami Judicial say bonsu. Okay, seems like a very close friend, very close friend. In time or the two me the same day onkasa man on testify man onjina man na remember me and Estina Fosu. That is a sister na kusha brimpoma, the senior sister no. Na so okase obe testify man with regards to our yasimia. Na yes supina one Suffolk thanker, and with regards to culture and some I don't know, ne supina and dombra. In fact, yes supina on record, yes supina German embassy in Ghana, and it's on record. In fact, one proof of service Nadina Bay. But you see, the problem with those foreign consulates, and they say, though they are in Ghana, they are not really in Ghana. They are sovereign states on their own. Their diplomatic relations now into what they want. A supina now appear omba intimation. Unlike they and our Empress, my supina there brakot and be the dance next ember, and you between yasho, a boom brother or a contempt of court now. What I say, but I want the intimation.
But you need them.
Yeah, you need them up your beba. Up your omba.
Case,
they have that diplomatic immunity. They have that diplomatic immunity. Ghana embassy, even Germany, they have that diplomatic immunity. Into German embassy, German government for one to Ghana embassy for our Germany or they banner. Well, Germany courts now better testify, you can't force them. So, but we subpoenaed them all the same. Now we had wanted them to speak to documentations now. You start case, you start hearing. In fact, according to Evidence Act, the moment ever mounted witness boss, with documentations, with evidence, there was a Thatcher. Let's say, over to Tuana. Now, opponents no be can or at that moment no do raise objections. Okay. Inti. And the young case, and normally they start with the plaintiff. Inti, our plaintiff, I don't know, be open case. Inti, in this case, Mammy Akusa say, ne attorney no. That is Mammy Judicial say bonsu. Mobe kesa imano. Anna, no do open case. Into attache, Mammy Akusa say, ne documentations as in ne marriage certificate, ne power of attorney, na translation a way no Germany into English. Now Ghana Institute of Languages one translation or together with other documentations via videos new they attach into amount say they raise objections with regards to documentations Now my lady here in the day at the time an injunction or directed that we should have the authentication into one signal William Kusi as part of the argument it was a lengthy argument with regards to objections no we raise how authentic those documents are and identity mama court in Injunction. It was quite a lengthy argument. Now Senior William Kusi no reply or the more one there. When it comes to admissibility of evidence, it's about the probative value as in the weight of the evidence Now it's about admissibility. There if it is relevant, there will be jatum. Then the court will determine weight or the to do. So or cite cases and now they were coming from the angle there, that is the defendants. One angle was based on section 161, subsection 1 and subsection 2 of the evidence decree, 1975, NRCD 323. Okay. Now that's section 161, 1 subsection 2, or based on the facts there, if it is a foreign document, you need those authentication. Okay. And so court na after there or the weight better than them, you need those authentication. But you see, for some reasons, and for how wise the legislature is, what the another subsection with the shame. That is section 161, subsection 3 of the evidence decree. And that one was to the effect that if there are some circumstance, some exceptional circumstance being certification becomes a problem, and authentication of those documents becomes a problem, then the court can give parties no reasonable time. Now, when I say why one investigation for the authentication, then the court will waive the certification. So,
move beside my lady.
That was the cross of our argument. Okay. So the cross of our argument, in fact, Senior William Kusi made it on record to the court that these are practical hardships we are facing. And believe you me, when it comes to those certifications, some of the embassies, trust me, they don't even know what we are talking about.
Some of the embassies?
Some of the Ghanaian missions abroad, they don't even know the process.
They don't know.
No, how many cases now?
Able to me actually say certificate was like authentic.
Now let me tell you this. Okay, let me start. You see, when it comes to the law, there is no assumption there. Judge Bianim, all the laws. Even the Supreme Court, they sometimes get it wrong. Okay. Internet con reviewer, they can sometimes change their mind. Okay, no, first you can do A, but see say yes or no, you mistake or you B. They can sometimes change their mind. Okay. Because when you be in law, so you research. That makes you a good lawyer. Okay. You research and you read. So you share how complex the process was. No? There is this convention, we call it the Hague Apostille Convention. Now, Hague Apostille Convention, it was a convention that came into being, that was somewhere 1961 or so. At that convention seeks to do, and it seems about 127 countries are signatories to it. At that convention seeks to do is abolish the complexities which accompanies the authentication of documents. Because they realize that if one foreign document is moving to another foreign document, the authenticity of it to ascertain, sometimes it takes time because I feel they be an office say or they check or they do a bit maybe a question.
Abra ye mami akosia se wa behu na wode ni problem betu wenim the wonka dinenim pacho munim say eba no certificate it takes a lot of time. Interpret man can change say ade we okoye e be take time.
So you have options to you. When it comes to proof in law, when you are proving something in law, not necessarily about the documentations, but if there are other corroborating credible evidence, link in some now you can make your case out. In the for instance, I'm a colleague on. We were in school 2013. So the fact that to me finish and me certificate Ashwa, does it mean them I'm colleague on? However, if I'm able to lead credible evidence to show in some BC in the BC to show there indeed require. You get it. So you can call in credible witnesses who better testify. There were options. Okay. Though we knew it was difficult, but you have to get it at definitely. And based on the fact that the time was also of the end, we had a short period. And so we considered all those conventions, but what we realized was that Ghana was not a signatory to that convention. And since if Ghana was a signatory to that Apostille Convention, American and Nanka, what it means is Germany is a signatory to that convention. So what it means is we'll carry all the documents to German government. Okay. Germany. They will just authenticate with one single document.
Into what's and
everybody, we are not signatories to it. Okay. Ghana, you're signatories to it. So we couldn't take that option, but that option would have been faster. Okay. You get it? We couldn't take that option. So the only option left for us, there, we have to go through the systematic authentication, and that is section 161. And section 161 subsection 1 and section 161 subsection 2 of the evidence decree. You have to go through. Or if you are not able to make that, you rely on section 1613 of the evidence decree 1975. You rely on it. I don't know more a bit almost leeway kakra. That for some exceptional circumstances, if you are not able to authenticate it, the court should give the parties reasonable time for them to ascertain as to the veracity of documents okay, and if so, or authentic and ability. So whether they will make their contact with embassy, who knows how they should get their information so that the court will give them. And the court itself, because there is a foreign document, the court itself is not exempted from also making its own investigation. In fact, extra evidence decree now, that is, it seems section 114 or so. The courts itself, if confronted with any difficult issue, they can call in expert witness to come and testify. So the court can do that on its own motion. On its own. Maybe. And it happens a lot.
Okay.
So the court can decide that no, because of this, let's call in this expert witness to come and assist the court.
Okay.
Then the cost will be borne by the parties. Or any of the parties can decide, okay, then for expert witness number. But one thing you should notice, expert witness, so better testify or quarter, the court is not bound by expert witness as some of the can. It is even if say, okay, yeah, confrere lawyer you or Germany bed there, oh, I'm a mecha, you work and then Mammy Akosia say one document and one some door authentic if we are taking that option. Because if there's certification, that does not mean it's conclusive. Okay. The court in Bejatum, the court per its own reasoning can decide the on. But when it happens like that, the court must assign reason. Adukunso free expert witness Obama near 1 Jan 2. You get it? So the court is not bound by it. When you look at section 114, the court has that opportunity. So now, still on the authentication. Because we're time bound in it, these things I'm telling you, I speak them as in I have personal knowledge of it. Because I worked closely with Senior William Kusi in Injunction. So what we did was immediately after working then injunction application, then we made contact with contact over Germany that they should quickly do this for us. They should go to the embassy and make checks.
Through email or
those are our contacts. Internally contact on the informal sidelines. So they contacted the embassy. They contacted the Ghanaian embassy in Germany, and information I knew was that they are not too how do you call it? They are not too familiar with that process. That was the information I mean. So and make there or a year say on Yamena me Fred directly into make a year say, but that was the information we had from our contacts that they were not too familiar. That is Ghanaian embassy, no Germany. They were not too familiar with the process. So Senior William Kusi insisted. Then no, they should try harder. So what we did was we had to send mail. We had to send mail. So Senior William Kusi instructed me. I drafted the letter. I have it here.
But I didn't call letter.
And see, letter in day. After each year, president, as in Ghana president or original president, Germany, each and catch on there. Oh, Sisia, you case be a easy man, so and so. Now, because of that, since we've been here, they authenticate some letters be. In the best ones, so with my boy now, they authenticate letters, given the exigency of the situation to one boy. And they attach those documents, they authenticate or certify with the man. And in fact, we went to that extent of even quoting the session because we had information earlier from young reps or Germany there. They've made the contact and it seems they are not getting better information. See, we wanted to get it right, so we had to quote the law for them so that they know. Don't be on here there. Yeah, but one day one member certification bank, but because they embrace share.
Okay.
Though there is the certification, so we quoted in the letter. Section 1611, section 1612, section 16. I can show it to you. The letter, I have a copy of it here. I can show it to you.
But a letter need that screen, though.
You have it?
Yeah, we have it.
Okay.
My producer, can we see?
So,
yes.
Okay. So, Senior William Kusi instructed me. I drafted it.
You wrote this. Okay.
So, we made the request.
Okay.
Oshay, or no correction, so be woman, yeah, finally, yes, Sunday. If I remember correctly, it seems we sent it on the 6th and 7th or something like that of November.
November, yeah.
Yes, no, yes, Sunday. So at that time we did the injunction application somewhere. No, you're drafting the 3rd. You're drafting somewhere 3rd of November. Okay. Now it seems that within the 4th or the 5th will be yes Sunday.
Okay.
And under your year injunction application that was on the 28th of October.
Okay.
And immediately yes Sunday, no, we didn't get any response. Any response? We didn't get any response. So Senior William Kusi gave me any reps or Germany. No, they managed to get the contact of German embassy.
Okay.
A Ghana embassy or Germany. They give us the contact. So Senior William Kusi gave me. This case I've been his right hand man. I'm supporting. Oboko battle for them. I'm not them prepare. Me a BBA or them man. So that he will lead the charge. Okay. Then I will follow. It's a learning process. Okay. So he gave me the number, Henry Frewan. So I called. In fact, the information I had was, anytime a phone they are available, you can get them. So on the 6th of November, I personally, from my own phone, I called twice. That was around 5 or 6 one. Then I was like, maybe I know what happened. So we're out of normal working time. So the following day, that was on the 7th of November, personally, I called again. It seems I called the first time was around 11 one. I called. Nobody picked. In 2 hours time, that was around 1 area, bro, on the 7th of November. No. Let me free you. Into me free you, and fortunately for me, one lady picked. We were freezing. So when the lady picked, we introduced someone. Let me be Sunday. Can she confirm receipt of our email we've sent to them? I said yes. They've received it. That was about 3 days later. Now, so look at it. Yes, I'll confirm that they've received it.
Okay.
Now we will hear from them.
Okay.
You get it. And this was a time we were nearing a work and then for CMC. Let's start a trial because the trial started hearing starting 17th. So the time was so crying. So what it means is you have to hatch different plans.
My lady Yahweh.
We told the court.
Okay.
Every time we were objecting, then we told the court.
They should give you time.
We told
so amount of time.
Time meaning we have such a timeline, but we told the court. We wanted the court to be in the know.
Okay.
That this is what we are facing.
Okay.
You get it.
Okay.
And in fact, in our addresses, on the A case, you write addresses or submissions.
Okay.
In our submissions, we wrote under the supervision of Senior William Kusi. He told me, Henry, fair one fish number. Let it come in so that it will be on record that this is what we attempted.
Okay.
In the extra submissions, pages 16, 17, and 18, particularly page 18, we spoke about it at length. Okay. Now, even yes, I also cry. We went even further to even give recommendation. I think our submission is missing Senior William Kusi or the copy ma Ula. So if you Ula why then I could be to confirm. Yeah, the copy crowd or the send in there. He can read it so that you would see. Okay. So we indicated it in it. And see, when the lady said she has confirmed there, okay, once I can mail, no, we will hear from them. No, we send a mail somewhere around the 6th or the 7th. It was on the 10th of November when they responded officially. They forwarded the documents to the appropriate office for further action to be taken. Okay. Now, case no.
But I didn't make.
And see, what Senior William Kusi decided to do was, okay, and one thing about proving law, when you are proving foreign law, it is not only based on expert witness. As I said, expert witness, you can come and testify. The court is not bound by it. Or pure befa, or pure unfa. But there are other means of proving your case. Okay. You get it? And in the judgment, my lady Kraken, from there, if the videos were man video, and I heard people saying there, and now video, those videos, na mama akusia sawana, Lumbo was signed or case. It came after the case, after judgment had been rendered. Okay. And see, then we had to hatch another plan. Yen subpoena a German embassy for somebody there, number speak to, working in those documents. Now this is the situation. Yes, about the authenticity of those documents we have. And this was even against the backdrop that they had even given us confirmation letter from German embassy will confirm the document we have is authentic. Meaning say who that letter. About
one what the bay.
Yeah, the count. In fact, that letter, that confirmation letter from German, what can the name base now? What confirm the mommy I could say on the document or authentic. I don't know. Though it is coming from the German embassy in Ghana. So that it's the German embassy, but it's Germany. You know it's in Ghana, it's Germany. So even the confirmation letter itself needs authentication. You see how applied?
Okay, more TV you do.
Okay. So the confirmation letter itself. Yes, though it was given by German embassy or Ghana Day, but they are not in Ghana per se. You get it? They are in Germany.
It is like if Germany never idea.
It's still cry. You need authentication. It's a foreign document.
It's a foreign document.
Into Sophie Germany no be you, Sophie Ghana embassy no fear be you. They are all foreign documents.
Okay.
So the confirmation letter itself, no other confirm the cry still needs authentication.
Wow.
So this letter was even part of the document we emailed to Ghana embassy or Germany. They should authenticate all these documents for us.
Okay.
Into a didn't account the subpoena somebody, anybody the German embassy can provide them to speak to those documents. But as I said, what do one if you are lucky they can come, if you are lucky they will not come. But they are not bound by your subpoena and all court processes and nothing. If they can come. So they didn't come.
But
now
this issue is very
yes. So Ebikade na senior William Kusina 1 year one authenticate documents now. This is the effort we put in, and we made it go on record. Or by any submission, we wrote it there. There, this is what we faced. And in fact, we made even recommendations in our submissions we wrote to the court. Until now, we're left with one option. The option was to rely on Section 161, subsection 3 of the evidence decree. And when it comes to the authentication of documents, within Section 161, next section. Section 161 subsection 1, Section 161 subsection 2. I wish that Nankubitim we that session American they can pull it up. And see, Section 161 subsection 1 is about the fact that foreign document or foreign signature, official signature, to be deemed authentic if it has been certified. Then Section 161 subsection 2 talks to the fact that such certification or prescribe the procedure for such certification. And so the procedure, it talks about the fact that Nippon or Obey sign any signature or by similar new position or hold in then the was sign, then to certify, attach it to the document there is original, is authentic. Now the subsection is Section 161 subsection 3 will give us a leeway. Leeway there. It seems the lawmaker foresaw something. They realize that it is possible that somebody might encounter challenges in authenticating documents. Time factor. So the lawmaker gives a leeway that if for some reasons you are unable to authenticate, the court should give the parties reasonable time. No authenticate documents. If reasonable time is given to the courts, the court will presume that the certificate is authentic. Then the court will waive the certification. It's the miscertification and call the Ekoji embassy one. Because that opportunity has been given the parties that they should do their individual investigation as to how authentic those documents are. And if they are able to do that, the court will waive the certification and call there or attach it and presume it to be authentic. So that was what we were leaning on. And even before Section 161 subsection 3 of the evidence decree, when you look at Section 136 subsection 2 of the evidence decree now, it talks about the fact that the most of authentication is not even limited to Section 161 alone. Into our argument even in court, when they raised the objections, our argument in court was like, Section 161 Section 16 is Section 136 subsection 2 says that the most of authenticating documents is not even limited alone to Section 161 or they call Ghana embassy one or they certify is not limited to that. Into any argument and they make to the court in the court should look at Section 161 subsection 3. But for some reasons unbeknownst to us, the court did not side with us. And my ekano, the court and the judgment now, it was like if we had made that attempt, we should have brought you to the notice of maybe a court and something to file something to show.
Sure.
But you see, funny enough also, actually, paragraph 117 or so. Is it paragraph 117 or so? Me check. Actually, either paragraph, is it 117 or something? Actually, the court says, the documents now, if the German embassy there now, or confirm the mamias, I could just say one of the documents in your correct, and that is, man, now what the true decision or to whom it may concern. That document, the court commented on it.
Oh, yeah, document your
the document, yes, the court commented on it, and this was the comment the court made on it. Court in from the observation, where would they attend that document? You know? That document also needs authentication. Today, section 161, subsection 1 and 2. No, but now, or something it's a Herculean tax. Or say either there we authenticate it or we can bring in somebody from the embassy to come and testify to that document. No, so there is a Herculean task for us to overcome.
So that means there wasn't time for you to.
Inti court nanga sa tiyo inti ada no e wonu krampo me on the day after the court nanga sa onoti problem no. There is either we have to authenticate it under section 161 subsection 1 and 2 no. Court now so call for it so there is a Herculean task for us. Then yes still the court judged us that we couldn't authenticate it under section 161 subsection 1 and 2. You see how it is.
So in all judgments in a buying, were you satisfied?
Oh, obviously no. Because there was no time. Apart from the certificate, when it comes to proof in law, it's not only by one means. To them, what can then? To them, my lady, no, we had to call a court, we had to call expert witness saying that no. It's not really about that. You see, when it comes to foreign law, you must prove it by evidence. Every case law, even the Godka case in court and class citing, that is what it says. You must prove it by judicial evidence. So when it comes to evidence, what is evidence? Evidence here, casa, a writing, subject, anything when you present to the censor, you can prove your case. So do you think say time frames ne anyone so count them? It is. And at time would be see papa date. It is very much so. Time is count. Time is count. Yes. In fact, you appeal because I am any case in there aside the authentication the evidence will lead a trial. Okay. At least if the same facts are presented before a judge, a different judge might come to a different conclusion. Wow. Oh yes. You see, in South America, when it comes to judgment, with a different evidence, with the same evidence, with different conclusion. You see, when you read judgment, judgment is just a portion of whatever happened. In fact, say a record of proceedings is like this. And see, every good lawyer will be measured when it comes to reading judgment. Because there might be some things the court itself will not even avert its mind to. Okay. But even on appeal, but this one was there, so why this? Now the trial court came to the conclusion. So we had the instructions from our client that we should appeal. So we are appealing. Our belief is the evidence we led in court was solid. In fact, Odoboni did not testify. Ebusopeni testified. Ebusopeni testimony near a hearsay. It was hearsay. And I have the record of proceedings here. I can just you can just read it. The record about 186. You get it, about 186. And we're given just one day to write our submissions. In say, 24 hours, Nipanda. Then we're just reading and writing. Okay. You read and you see the inconsistencies, then you'll be writing your submissions. So it has not been an easy journey. Inti, Odobuni and testify. Now, even the evidence is about pieces of information to build your case. But this is even the situation. Odobuni not testify man no. Also a credible evidence or a credible witness. You know. Or admit it. one witness in there. They knew about the marriage of that Lumumba in Germany.
They knew.
Yes.
Or one
witness statement.
But one or testify.
So BB Beniako so. Beniako so. They said they knew. Okay. It was in the witness statement and the cross-examination. Okay. He admitted that they knew. But I don't know some cross or they count a day. Lumumba Beja will be sending about an hour. No, so Anna and Mamma could say 1 hour in a day. Why you? We. But the family knew, and Senior William, because when he was doing the cross-examination, he intimated that no, but that place will come clearly, so they knew. It was Senior William could be someone, and the cross-examination will be a witness in there. The Dad Lumumba, apart from that, did he present any divorce certificate or chair now or now, or with Germany? I could just say 1 hour. I can answer no. We will not say that Lumumba will provide the baby them, but I need the money there. Now we're on wide and we'll go into a based on that no proceed. Now what J our no. That was on 10th April 2010. That was it.
10th April 2010.
So in some extent to Krano, they themselves they knew there was an existence. Yes.
V. Floor 1 question. One. I'm paying 40 and 1. And then a yellow.
Nipa back open
Kasa 1.
Okay. Lawyer, I said I'm making me statements no. I mean, put you on record saying, me lawyer, me call law school. But yeah, you go for trainer. It's your analysis and our questions can carry one and person bisa. Now, what problem can carry with be a wakan? One mentioned problems are who do a munya ya mointimi for authenticated certificates, no, anko. The kind what's it time? Na ebre any more fa. Na ebrene ni mwafa no anye bia mutimi tia court ne na so chen so se de ye case ne tie ne hia ebre kakra na yetimi e de akoye ni makwakope ye evidence no ana 2 o se ye complex se ba ne se wo pese wo authenticate certificate ni free amanone. In fact in same bia waka wa ha me sure some embassies ni bi tia, they will not be happy with you for you to say omuni knowledge of how some of these things work. No, I don't think they will be, because almost they know what they are about. And you be amu finding out who say a bread draw sign a baby and sana a be our satisfy process now on Saka, because from judgment it's who somebody assembly call 2nd October if I'm right. It's a free 2nd October copim bra judgment better form no. And you be a brebe na mususu yesen kamu call the right procedure na kamu sabe kasa authenticated document na mo to me e di atwe. Now, enu enkoda nche no. One.
It's in patro man answer.
Okay. Ene patro.
Okay. So when it comes to projection now, in fact, you'll be in the office work there and intimation with timer on your family. In fact, at the time, if I remember correctly, some of our reps are just sending one or don't find out on family. The information we had was the ambassador is a bit indisposed. That was the information. And I don't have personal knowledge of it, but that was the information we had, that the ambassador was a bit indisposed, so the process might take a bit of a time. But we didn't project time there to wonder, because we knew some of these administrative processes, they will take time. But we made it known in the letter there, this is the problem we are confronted with, and time is of the essence for us. It won't try as much as possible so that they will be able to help us. We couldn't fix time for them. We couldn't fix time for them because I don't know when the office. I never bet time ahead.